How's it going, guys? Vaibhav here and welcome to a video talking about everything we know about the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3. And before you jump at me in the comments, it is Z. I'm not gonna say Z because Z is Z-E-E and that's just how I feel. Anyways, let's not get into that. Let's start off with the Galaxy Z Fold 3, beginning with design. Now, we've seen a few leaks of the design of the Z Fold 3, and to be honest, it's not very inspiring. It looks more like a Sony flagship rather than a Samsung flagship, definitely not in line with what we saw with the Galaxy S21 Ultra, nor the Galaxy Z Fold 2, which was a phenomenal device from Samsung. So I'm not gonna judge the device just based off of the rumors we've seen or the renders we've seen, so I'm gonna give it time until we see actual device, pictures of it being used, or if I get to use it. So that sort of stays for now. However, I do want to talk about durability, and that's an aspect that Samsung has definitely worked on ever since the Galaxy Fold. When we saw the Galaxy Fold, it wasn't the best when it came to flagship territory. So it had these creaks, it had durability defects that not everyone was a fan of. The Galaxy Z Fold 2 improved that tremendously. Z Fold 2 felt very premium, it felt very compact, sturdy. Everything you'd ask for on a premium device was on the Galaxy Z Fold 2, apart from maybe 2 or 3 things. The first one being IP certification, which is one of the biggest things coming to the Galaxy Z Fold 3 lineup. So you're gonna get IP certification, so that's one more check mark in the otherwise awesome Fold series that Samsung has cooking up. And the second thing is this armor shield casing. Now, I don't know if this is coming to the Galaxy Z Fold 3, but it's definitely required because you don't want to be paying a premium price tag for a smartphone like the Z Fold 2, dropping it once and cracking the screen. I know one person who's done that, and I don't want to say names on this video, but if you're watching this video, you know who you are. But hopefully with this armor shielding around the Galaxy Z Fold 3, things should be far more improved. But that's the majority of the design and overall look of the smartphone. We will see developments leading up to the launch of these smartphones, which come out sometime in July or August according to the rumors. That's when Samsung wants to hold the Unpacked event, and that'll obviously mean that the Galaxy Note series might be scrapped. And that brings me on to the different variations that we've seen when it comes to design and display sizes. So apparently there are 2 rumors clashing against each other in terms of what the sizing of the displays on the smartphone is going to be. One rumor is suggesting a 7-inch display as the primary, as well as a 4-inch display on the outer edge, which sort of is a downgrade over the Galaxy Z Fold 2 in every regard. And another is suggesting a 7.7-inch internal display with a 5.4-inch external display. For hardcore Z Fold 2 users, this news is hard to digest, but hear me out. What if both of these rumors are true, where the 7-inch and the 4-inch form factor was the Galaxy Z Fold 3 Lite, whereas the 7.7 and the 5.4-inch form factor was the Galaxy Z Fold 3 flagship edition? That's something just to ponder over, and that obviously brings me on to the specifications of the smartphone, which I do think Samsung will branch out once again, and that sort of fills up the gap of the Galaxy Note series. So let's say the Lite version of the Fold fell around the $1,000 to $1,200 mark where the Note was priced, and of course the more premium version is the $1,799 version, so the Galaxy Z Fold 3. That sort of makes sense. And in terms of specifications, we're looking at the Qualcomm Snapdragon 870 processor on the Lite version of the Galaxy Fold 3. Whereas in terms of the other processing unit, again, things start to get a bit more complicated. So in pretty much every other scenario, we'd expect the Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 processor, or maybe the Exynos 2100 in places outside of the USA and China. However, it looks like there has been a leak suggesting that the processor on the Galaxy Z Fold 3 is top secret. And I don't know what that means, but that perhaps points out to some sort of GPU embedded in the processor. Maybe that's Samsung's doing, maybe a different processor altogether to tackle the likes of Apple's M1 chipset. That's something we have to wait and find out, but it's definitely interesting. And if this rumor does have some credibility, it will be nice to see how this processor bakes into the software of the Z Fold 3, which I do think requires an improvement over the Z Fold 2. Yes, the flex mode was really good for multitasking, but you need something a bit more robust to be able to take advantage of every single application in the way flex mode does. So if you look at it from the major changes perspective, that pretty much outlines all of them. However, there are a few more that I want to point out. The first one being obviously the display. Not every display on the Z Fold 2 was 120 Hz. This time, every display on the Galaxy Z Fold 3 will be 120 Hz, and this is confirmed officially through some leaks that we've had of what looks to be Samsung's teaser video. There also seems to be another leak which shows that there is no camera notch on the device, which is absolutely spectacular. So the inner display of the phone or the tablet, whatever you want to call it, will not have a camera. It will have an under display camera. I don't know how this impacts quality, but it looks like this will be the upgraded version of the under display camera, which is supposedly going to have better quality. I'm not going to comment on how I feel about that because I don't know the quality of an under display camera. I've never used one, but definitely interesting. It goes transparent when you're not using it, so obviously you get that full screen experience. So +1 from me as well on that front. Building on the display on the Z Fold 2 currently is a 30 micrometer ultra thin glass, which doesn't withstand any sort of pressure from a pen without being damaged. Well, this looks to be changing with the Z Fold 3 as well, because this time Samsung is opting for a 60 to 100 micrometer glass, which is apparently bendable and foldable as well, which will also facilitate the use of the S Pen, and that's where the S Pen comes into the picture. You'll now be able to use the S Pen on your Galaxy Z Fold 3, potentially killing off the Galaxy Note series for good. I don't know how I feel about killing off the Note series, as I've said in this video in numerous occasions, but if Samsung is going to do that, it needs to make sure that the durability of the screen stays intact, and that is how it's going to do it. Now, whether or not the S Pen comes built into the smartphone or external to the smartphone remains to be seen. I'm guessing it's going to be external to the smartphone because if it comes in build, it's obviously going to sacrifice more on the build quality. It's going to sacrifice on the fact that the phone is finally getting IP certification, but Samsung has to work on making it even more robust to support the S Pen, and maybe Samsung doesn't want to spend that extra bit of money to do that, so it's just going to sell it externally, and for anyone who wants to use it, they can just buy it like they did on the Galaxy S21 Ultra. There is, however, a conflicting rumor to that in the fact that the battery on the device is going to be smaller than the Galaxy Z Fold 2. So the Z Fold 2 had a 4500 mAh cell, while the Z Fold 3 is going to have a 4380 mAh cell. This might be to do with the new GPU power that's coming to the processor, or it may be to do with the fact that the S Pen is going to be housed inside the Galaxy Z Fold 3. All of that is up for discussion. We don't know fully yet about that aspect of the smartphone, but from what we do know, this is turning out to be quite the smartphone, and quite the smartphone to beat for the later half of 2021. Lastly, but very much not the least, we're going to talk about the one thing that we haven't talked about so far, and that is the Galaxy Z Fold 3 pricing. Is it going to drop? Is it going to stay the same? I think it's going to stay the same because the Galaxy Z Fold 2 currently is sitting at a very discounted rate for a number of different regions, especially in the UAE and Germany, I believe. So I think with Samsung trying to clear up stock, the Z Fold 3 is definitely going to be priced at, let's say, $1,799. As I said, a light version could fill in the gap for the Note series. And yeah, that's about it for this video. You are, I hope, getting the charging brick outside of the box if you're paying $1,799 for a smartphone, but we don't know what Samsung is up to with that. You will, however, get 25-watt charging on the smartphone, so that's a-okay for me. Wireless charging as well as wired charging and wireless power share all in tow. But that's about it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one, and stay tuned for future content coming up very shortly. This was Vaibhav, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.